it's taking its time. There it goes. YouTube is finally live. Facebook has been up a good 30 seconds into YouTube forever to load. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I just thought I would get this cardio session done for the day. We're going to run here later too. I'm a little miffed though with the running vlogs because I'm doing them on YouTube, but because of the time of day, I'm sitting here looking at them thinking they're streaming the whole time. I'm getting to the end of the run and still seeing comments, and I go look for like 2, 3, 4 minutes on my thing, right? Like that's a problem. I might have to take them over eventually to Facebook or something, which will maintain a much stronger connection, because those disconnects, that's just unacceptable. Like most of my run is gone. Like I look at the one yesterday, I'm sitting here looking, I thought there were still comments coming through when I finished the run. And I go to look at the timer and it's saying it's 2 minutes long. That's going to get silly as my runs get longer and longer. What's it going to do? Shave 20 minutes off my run? So it's going to get kind of dumb. I may have to do those on Facebook. Otherwise, then it's just a case of people saying, oh, coach only ran 2 minutes or some stupid stuff, or 3 minutes or something. When I'm trying to hit like 10 minutes plus on those little daily jogs now, and it's cutting them off. I don't know what to do about that, other than just say YouTube sucks. Maybe this platform is just dead if they can't maintain a basic stream off cellular data like everyone else can do it. I don't know why YouTube can't do it. Everyone else has no trouble doing it. That was a good pause on this. Thank you, mortals. We're going to keep going with that. I went everything beltless today. That was humbling. Of course, me being beltless, it's always going to look worse because you're going to be belly coming out, squats and deadlifts, but that's okay. The beltless squat was humbling. I haven't done those in a while. Dude, 405 was heavy. I did just like a high bar without a belt. And I'm like, wow, that might as well have been 500 pounds. No, joking aside, I'm going to have to get used to the beltless again because it's kind of keeping with the philosophy of, I used to push that way back in the day a lot. I used to do no belt, no wrist wraps, nothing, all the time back in the day, right? I used to make jokes about it. I'm like, a man doesn't need a belt or wrist wraps. And I'm not serious when I say that. I want people to be clear. That's purely hyperbole. That's just having a little bit of fun. I'm not saying if you wear a belt that you're not a man. So, people take hyperbole and us being fun and having a good time. They take it too serious, right? They take it way too serious. Like I didn't mean literally that you're just a big floppy pussy if you wear a belt. That's not what we meant. But it was having fun of, let's talk about raw training, raw strength. The same thing. I'm running without shoes. And I'm not saying, oh, I run without shoes, so I'm like an alfalfa male or whatever. I'm making it your alfalfa, right? An alfalfa male chewing on that hay. It's not what we're saying. Not what we're saying at all. It is about simply saying, look, doing this stuff raw, doing it all this way, when again, builds a different type of strength. It builds a different type of resilience. What's up, Mustafa? Glad to see you in here, man. We're obviously streaming on both. Mustafa's on Facebook. So I do want to go back to more of the beltless training, just like I'm running without shoes. I'm doing the sled work without shoes. We're just getting in raw dog and everything. So I did all my lifts today without a belt. Not gonna lie, the squatting was hard. And I've done some pretty dang heavy squats in the past, right? I have literally done a 485 squat in competition without a belt on. Okay, people forget that. Like I've done almost a 500 squat at a meet successfully with no belt, right? Just so that we are clear on that. So that being said, I am want to transition back to that. The fact that my skin is still loose, I need to get leaner, doesn't look that great without a belt on the camera, but I can live with that. Let's just be real, right? Let's not stand here and do that and then have people saying, oh, there's Blaha, hiding his loose skin and his fat. No, we'll take the belt off and show it. I think it's better training for me anyways. We'll live with it. Mustafa says, I plan on doing one set of conventional deadlifts and 5 sets of remedials to build it. Mustafa, bro, I'm going to be honest, man. I can't give you programming advice without me sitting down with you in a paid consultation and going over your whole program, because there's no context for that. And this is stuff I try to tell guys from a coaching perspective. Spitting individual lifts and reps and sets without me seeing everything that you do isn't useful. Like, I literally need to know how much sled work you do with that. I need to know how much running you do. I need to know your training history going into that. Makes sense. Like, you can't just say, hey, I'm doing one set of deadlifts. And like, this doesn't tell me anything. All right. Who cares what the haters say about it? Exactly. Feed me. So, I mean, we're just going to get up and train. Ted says, Beltless Bonko Gurus. There we go, man. Will you coach me, please? No. Do you know why I can't coach you? Because you didn't put an application in. Sorry, dude, you didn't go put in an application for me to coach you. So the answer is no. You have to go to my Facebook page, to the messenger, and you have to put in an application. If you don't do that, the answer is no. Hey, Ted. Ted's in here. Ted's a client. Hey, Ted, what'd you have to do for me to coach you? He's like, well, I had to go put an application in. So, sorry, Packet, because you didn't put an application in. The answer is no. You have to go do that. Does your average client do sled work and run? I don't have an average client, Ted. I don't know how to answer that because my client base is so varied that I don't have an average client. I can tell you my average client back squats. I can say that much. I can say that with absolute certainty. My average client does back squats. I don't think I have any who don't. So, you know, it's kind of like my average client is between the age of 20 and 62. You know, so I have clients who do those things. Mustafa says I do 6 sets weekly, no running, just trying to build my hamstrings. So I would say with that, Mustafa, progressive overload. So I think you're focusing on the wrong things. You're asking me, hey, I'm doing one set of deadlift. I would say you could build massive hamstrings off deadlifts. I mean, you could straight build massive hamstrings off conventional deadlifts. What I'm more concerned with, rather than your exercise selection, are you progressively overloading them? What's your progressive overload plan? That is way, way, way dramatically more important. Because you can come in and tell me I'm doing 37 sets of Romanian deadlifts a week. I'm like, did you add reps? Did you add weight to the bar? You're like, no. So you didn't build any muscle. You didn't build any hamstring. Makes sense? And you have to see it from that perspective. I mean, I could build massive hamstrings doing nothing with conventional deadlifts. I'm progressing, feel like one set wouldn't be enough for, well, of course one set's not enough. You know, well, one set isn't enough. But then you've also got to look at, is your squatting carrying over? Is your other pulling carrying over? You know, what else are you doing? You know, I mean, your sled work will contribute to hamstrings. Jumping contributes to hamstrings. Anything that involves hip extension is going to contribute to your hamstrings. I deadlift once a week, but I'm scared to deadlift 3 times a week in case of injury. Fair enough, feed me. You don't have to deadlift 3 times a week. I deadlift 3 times a week right now, but I only do singles. Is adding sets a form of progressive overload? No, Benjamin. No, because you're making the assumption that it's automatically more quality of work. All right. Are they suboptimal sets? Then it's probably not doing anything. Generally, I'm not going to count any progressive overload unless 1 of 3 things happen. You added reps, you increased the range of motion somehow. That could be a progressive, but that's going to have limits. We can count that as the third one. But mainly, did you add reps? Did you add weight? Right? Or did you somehow increase the tension by like increasing range of motion or something through the winged position? That's your progressive overload. Adding more sets, no, because either you're near optimal training volumes or you aren't. Now, if you're only doing one set a week, then yes, adding sets would probably count. But if you're doing like 8, 9, 10 sets a week for a muscle, adding more sets is not progressive overload. What about for rep work? Is it a bit too much 3 times? Feed me. I have no context for your question. So to answer the question of is doing rep work, is deadlift 3 times a week too much? I need to know your entire lifestyle, training history, drug stack, hormone profile, everything you do. I need to know everything in your life that creates fatigue or stimulus to answer that question. Do you see the problem with the question? Depends on the person. That's not something that a person could answer as a pass-fail question, a yes or a no. I don't know anything about your fatigue management, your training status, your diet. How could we possibly answer a question like that? And anyone who gives you an answer is a lying bullshit scam artist. Next. All right. Mustafa says, train them hard. 2 of the Romanian are stiff leg, but I do pull-ups and barbell rows from my back. So it all accumulates, Mustafa. But the main thing you're looking for is progression. We've been building Ted's hamstrings. He's over in the other stream right now. We have progressively loaded all those good mornings and stuff up over time. I don't have thoughts on vegan gains at all in any capacity. So you're like, what are your thoughts on vegan gains? I don't have any thoughts on vegan gains. Like, he almost doesn't exist in my mind, in my world. Unless you guys bring him up, he doesn't even exist. You probably covered this a lot, but once and for all for natty lifters, what do you think of the most optimal amount of sets per body part per week? There isn't. Which obviously actually lost a rep on my bench press. I don't know what happened. It might be too much volume. Something's not recovering. Your calorie, there you go. We stop it. You could be losing weight. Whole lot of factors. Hey, Benjamin, there is no answer to that. Why is there no answer? Because we come back to what's your total lifestyle look like? What exercises? Realistically, is a set of squats and a set of leg extensions really a set per set comparison? Like, are you really going to take those and compare those as if they're equal? In theory, and what are we looking for? You're looking for optimal. Well, if you wanted optimal, you wouldn't be natty. And I don't even mean hamsters. If a person wanted to be optimal, they would look for every anabolic pathway, not just steroids. See the problem with the question. So maybe you're going in the wrong direction. So I would say optimal would be what is the most number of hard limit sets you can recover from on a week-to-week basis. That would be optimal. So if you literally change your diet or the amount of sleep you get, your optimal changes. Or what is the most sustainable, realistic amount? Okay, those are different questions. So you use the word optimal. So optimal is going to mean you're sleeping 10 hours a day. Your diet's perfect, right? You need to probably quit your job so you can sleep more. If you're looking for optimal, get rid of all the stress in your life. You got a girlfriend that stresses you, get rid of her. Your parents stress you, don't talk to them, block them. Get rid of all your stress. Sleep 10 hours a day. Now we're getting optimal. If you're going to use that word. All right. So what's the most sustainable, realistic amount of sets one can do per week to get good gains, not optimal. About 6 sets. Whereas in that optimal could be 20 in some cases, But your other point about 6 sets, I think 6 sets is a good, solid number that a person could sustain, realistic, and make good gains year round. I think about 6 works really, really well. Yourself says, you're funny. I don't do more than 10 sets anymore. I'm funny looking. Miss Office said I'm funny. I think he meant I'm funny looking. I got that bald head going. So Benjamin, I mean, you guys ask those funny questions with that optimal. I always laugh at the optimal because I'm like, dude, you don't even use 5 grams of test. Don't talk to me about it. If you were optimal, you would already be injecting every anabolic pathway known to man to be sleeping 12 hours a day. You would remove every single stressor in your life, right? All of it. If you were in pursuit of optimal, which nobody does. Have you heard of that guy who broke all his bones, out a few inches of height at the expense of basic daily performance? That guy sounds like a complete ignoramus. I think that whoever that guy is should have probably consulted a psychiatrist before this procedure. Like, seriously. To go through that to add some extra height, are you serious? I can't even comprehend being that insecure. Like, that level of insecurity, I can't even comprehend that. I get it if you guys are a little insecure about their height. Well, they have those lifting shoes you can compensate with or whatever. But that's already like, you're never going to get pussy. Level of insecurity. Like, you're screwed. You go to that point. Like, if you're that insecure, you're so screwed. But yeah, I mean, to go through all of that to get a couple inches of height, how accurate is it? A 25 or a 26 fat-free mass index is the top you could get naturally? I'm going to completely disagree with that, Lacey. If some dude's got a 26 fat-free mass index telling you they use very, very low doses of steroids, that's already suspect. They're only using 500 milligrams. I'm going to question that. Like, their training better be perfect. Like, they better be dialed in to be on a really low dose of steroids and be at a 26. Natural. Lacey, who told you 26 is natural? You didn't get that from anybody I know. Like, 25 is like elite genetics, natty, 15 years under a barbell, winning natural pro shows, level crazy. Average person will never get to 25 without steroids. If you're average genetics, you're probably going to give up on that. Like, 25 is kind of, if you look at that data, so you start talking 24 and a half, 24.8, or guys who are literally winning national level bodybuilding shows, like natural tested shows. Those are the guys who are winning at the national level in the high 24s. Like, you're a serious, highly competitive natural pro if you're in the high 24s. 25 was predicted as a theoretical ceiling with some of that data. It's not like they're actually reaching it. Makes sense. It's kind of like one of those, you're approaching it. But realistically, like a 23 and a half is really, really, really good for a natty. Like, that's you've probably put in some really, truly serious work. Like, if you're 20, anything above 23, lean as a natural, you have really paid your dues, right? Or you have really good genetics if you didn't really pay your dues, right? Start getting above 24, you're talking extremely genetically gifted, or guys who have just flat busted their ass for 15 years straight and not missed a workout. What's my fat-free mass index? Like 26. Full natty, bro. All right. But I'm the exception because I'd be full natted, bro. You know what I'm saying? Natural lifters lifting natural weights, naturally eating natural peanut butter. Training on that natural astroturf in my natural garage with all natural steel barbells. If all rep ranges build muscle, does it basically difference if you lift heavier with fewer reps? Or Benjamin, that's a lot of nuance. Yeah, I think it matters to some extent. It only counts at a lower body fat, right? I mean, you could be better at a higher. Yeah, if you're talking like 20%, you start getting down close to 10%. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Obviously, not due to your 20% or higher. And here's why. Your fat itself has connective tissue and lean tissue in it. Well, you've been training for decades. True, Marcinio. True. Walter jumped in. He says, I was close to 23 in my heyday. Yeah, I mean, 23 is not a bad go. Like, let's be realistic. A 23 fat-free mass index with visible abs to the average person, like, let's set aside bodybuilding standards, right? So the guy in here saying he's right around 23 in his heyday. Yeah. Lacey, I've never seen any data on women. I have no idea. I would assume it's probably lower. There's been no studies on women, so we literally have I have nothing to give you there. Sorry. Zero data to draw upon. Some more research is done. Fred says, hey, coach, what's up? But I mean, so the guy on the Facebook, hey, Mustafa, you're going to have to go to a fat-free mass index calculator. I'm not going to go calculate it for you. You can go to Google, type in FFMI calculator. All right. If you don't know your body fat, then it's not going to give you any. You have nothing. You have no way to calculate it. You can plug it in for 3 or 4 body fats, though, to see kind of where it would land. But like, okay, the other guy here on Facebook talking about a 23 with abs. Think about a 23 fat-free mass index with abs. I mean, that's a Hollywood physique, right? So does everyone have a context for that? That's the sort of physique you see in the comic book character movies, or, you know. So you think of something like that, we're talking Wolverine, we're talking Captain America, right? Those, a lean at a healthy lean with visible abs, not shredded to the bone, healthy lean with visible abs, 23 fat-free mass index is going to turn women's heads walking down the street at the beach or at the beach. Like, women and stuff are going to notice, right? Women are going to be like, hey, he looks good. Dude's got a nice body. That's going to be the response. Women are going to be like, hey, he's got a nice body. Other dudes are going to be like, hey, bro, you know how much you bench, right? That's going to be the general response. To the average person, not fitness obsessed, not obsessed with Instagram fitness, you're going to look really good with those numbers, right? Yeah, exactly, Lacey. Like Zac Efron, that's what we're talking about. Obviously not when he got the other stuff with the gut and everything. Fred, think about it with my overall size. No, I get a little different reaction. I literally have people who walk over who ask me for advice. I get asked for nutrition or lifting advice anytime I'm in public, just as a general rule. You have Ronnie. Yeah, but I mean, we're talking crazy pro bodybuilders. I've noticed you said about doing pull-ups. Yeah, I've been doing pull-ups on my off days a bit. Good morning, Jason. What's up, Ryan? Saw your workout come through this morning, Ryan. Yeah, I'm doing just sets of 10, sometimes 12 on just dead hang body weight pull-ups on my off days. Tommy, what's up, bro? Hey, Jason, hope you're doing well, brother. Girl at my gym doing wellness competitions. Voice has become like a man. Facial structure even changed. Flat chest coaches. Oh, my God. Then wellness. So she's having virilization in a wellness division. Dude, her coach is a dick. Bro. Fred says, Coach, I hope you don't have any beef with Scooby. I didn't mean for the Scooby. I don't have any beef with Scooby. No. Was it the one about the same age? No, dude, Scooby's like 15 years older than me. Scooby's like over 60 years old. So it was just funny. If you was that comment, I just laughed because it was the case of before I started, when I first started YouTube, we all saw Scooby as the old guy, the OG who was doing skateboard squats and little home workouts, making videos, who was the old guy from the generation before us. Makes sense? So I just kind of laughed when I got put in the same category because to me, he was the old school OG dude, like 15 years older than us, like me and Chris Jones and all of us, right? So he already had been doing it for years before we all started. And, yeah. Why so many pull-ups? I don't have a set number of sets. I just knock them out. Like I only did 20 pull-ups yesterday, but I mean, like the day before, I did like 4 sets of 10 and I did like 12 on the last set or whatever. I average in maybe 30 pull-ups a day on my off days just to do them in because I feel like I need the extra, the shoulder work. I need the extra mobility for the biceps, the shoulders. I like pull-ups. And again, the issue I had before was doing the chin-ups, but I feel like full pronated overhand grip pull-ups are just good for my shoulder health. They're good for my grip. And they let me just do a little extra work. Because keep in mind, I'm not doing much else. Like, what are my workouts? Heavy singles and squat, bench, deadlift. I basically do weighted pull-ups, weighted dips. And then, athletic stuff, right? So I do sled and I do box jumps on my workouts. So if you look, and then today I did some overhead pressing with dumbbells. So I'm going to add some sort of overhead press in as I'm able. But basically my training is heavy squat, bench, deadlift, rep work on weighted pull-ups, weighted dips, right? I'm trying to work in some type of overhead press. But then I do box jumps and I do a sled every one of my full body workouts, right? Tommy says, now you're the old school OG. Crazy to think it's like way back in when I first came found you through my personal trainer friend, Johnny, who sadly passed away, right? I'm the OG, man. Oh, my God. We're the OG, and now I do all just my athletic thing. Pull-ups and dips are my favorite upper body exercises once I got them. And presses. Don't you still do barbell curls? No, Benjamin, I took all the curls out. I explained why multiple times. Like I've done written posts on it. I've done in the vlogs. Like I'm taking out all supine work, all of it. I'm convinced this is what messed up my shoulders. And there's data to actually support this. It's not just a random hunch. And I'm not the only person. I'm not even one of 100 people who had this problem. It is actually something that physical therapists are fully aware of the mechanism by which it occurs. Coach, you definitely survived a crazy era of YouTube fitness. We did. Why are we getting likes, by the way, on YouTube? All of you people are commenting. There's 3 likes. What's up with that, guys? Hit that like button. Lacey, inflammation of the long head of the bicep causes an actual problem to where it reduces range of motion. It literally gets impinged, right? But notice I can't lock my elbows anymore. Whereas go look at the community tab post. Look at those lockouts. Look at some of the stuff I've linked in the community tab. I used to literally hold the barbell at lockouts with 185, 200, 205 on overhead presses. I used to hold it for a 1 count, fully locked. My elbows don't lock anymore. So it's bicep inflammation from supine work, and then it also is happening at the shoulder as well. It all started when I did that crazy experiment with ridiculous amounts of chin ups, which are supine grip. But I've continued to do supine grip curls and stuff too. Right? But it's what they're noting, and that's the reason, Lacey, you notice a lot of Olympic lifters refuse to do curls. It's generally believed in the weightlifting community that curls hurt your lockout position. That's a very common belief in weightlifting circles around the world for Olympic lifting. So what we're looking at is bicep tendon inflammation. I've been doing all this, and yet we go back. If you look at those time periods when I had the really good overhead pressing, and I overhead pressed all the time, all sorts of variations with amazing lockout, I did no curls other than hammer curls. Right? I only did hammer curls. If I did curls at all, I lived on pull-ups and rows. And I had beautiful lockouts. I could literally used to hold my lockouts at the top all the time, like 4 or 5 reps in a row. I'd hold them for a 1 count on camera. So again, I think it's all bicep related because it's also affected my elbow ability to lock. Like I can't dead hang and lock my elbows. With a 100-pound weight hanging, I cannot lock them. Just hanging from a dead hang from the bar. So it's all bicep related. But what ends up happening, the long head gets inflamed, and it gets inflamed enough, the tendon does, that it gets pinched in between the shoulder joint so that you can't fully extend. So I'm just removing all of it. I'm just going to let my biceps inflammation go down. And it's not like my arms got bigger, right? So go back and look at those time periods, all that stuff I linked. My biceps were arguably just as big, if not bigger, doing none of that. Literally occasionally doing hammer curls and just doing pull-ups and rows. So all of that bicep work didn't even make my arms bigger. He says, I kind of think biceps are overrated if you get good shoulders and triceps. True. I mean, people noted then that my arms looked bigger, but I was living on pressing. Like if you look at that time I lived on weighted dips, I mean, I was doing a close grip incline rep work with like 250, like close grip. I was doing rep work with 205 on overhead presses, all close grip, on camera all the time. I mean, I didn't film every workout then, but there's enough of them up. I was also close gripping in the 300s. So I had the triceps and shoulder strength. And my arms looked bigger. Arsenio says, yeah, I noticed that in arm wrestlers who do extremely heavy curls, they walk like T-Rexes, right? Live your diet's on point. Right, true. I have big arms, but they look flat and undefined. Is this body fat issue? It's body fat. There goes it from shoulder drills. Cool. Results says, can I do the same pull-ups every day? Sure. You could, but you're not grinding. I'm leaving a couple reps in the tank on those. I'm not taking them all the way to failure. I'm just doing challenging sets. And I kind of spread them out. It's not like I'm doing them 3 minutes apart. Yeah, come do one. Do another one in 30 minutes. Do another one in 30 minutes, Something similar to tennis elbow could be bicep tendons. I think it's accumulated a left shoulder issue, but it could be, Tommy. Could be. All right, back over to YouTube. Yeah, Darth Author, it's probably a body fat issue, man. Get those likes up though, guys. We only got 4 likes in the YouTube. Get those up. We a lot of times have 20 likes at this point. Y'all slacking on Coach. Really good they're going. We've got plenty of viewers. It's not a lack of viewers. We saw about how many total sets. Do you care? I do 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Just get in and do some pull-ups. That's literally how I'm approaching it. I know it's going to sound ridiculous. It's just extra work just doing pull-ups. I literally don't program it. I just decide I'll do a set or two today, or I'll do 3 or 4. I got time to do more. Right? But if I decide to do 5 sets every day, as long as they're not to failure and you're not destroying yourself, then you could do it. But if you start regressing, you're not recovering. So keep that in mind too, Mustafa. I mean, and I'm not saying they're not challenging. I mean, but I can do like 12. So I do 10. You know, I do pull up. But keep in mind, I'm doing those, they're all dead hang reps. So they're not, there's no touching go. I'm literally dead hanging every rep. I'm doing them really close grip. Right? I like pull ups. So I did 3 by 6 on weighted pull ups today. Feed me. I did neutral grip today though. I program pull ups. They're crazy. Upper bodybuilders, they can be tough. Their set volume goes down tremendously. Mine doesn't. I don't lose performance set to set in general. You need to build your work capacity. Old PA Sam says, I promise this is my last question on the split coach. What would be a good leg day example on push-pull legs? Squats, leg press, some hamstring work. Right? Some sort of back squat, some sort of secondary squat pattern for your thing. If you're going to do only legs once a week, something for your hamstrings, maybe a calf exercise. I will alternate between trail and leg grip pull-ups with my biceps and back. Due to potential shoulder overuse, be very careful with the wide grip if you're going to try to do pull-ups every day. There is data showing that closer grip is easier on your shoulders. Fred Johnson says, well, yeah, brother, you and Scooby are the only 2 in YouTube fitness that are reliable. I suppose. I probably follow both of you, my 2 favorite, and 2 that took this seriously. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. So 3 sets of hard squats and 3 sets of hard deadlifts enough for decent gains? Yeah, I think so. My reps decrease progressively on each set of pull-ups and those things. I push hard. My coach says it's normal when you're pushing to failure. I got people mad at me on that because I was doing multiple sets of failure for a little while on all my lifts and replicating my reps. I was literally riding the squat and the bench press to the pins, unloading it, and then replicating the performance. You don't lose any reps till the 3rd set. So if I can get 10, I'll get 10, 10, and 8. That's me, though. I've been doing this a long time, though. Sounds good, coach. Leg volume keeps me on some because there's so many partials on the deadlift. Yeah, but it's a deadlift. Deadlift makes everything big. But then a lot of your cardio stuff will contribute. A lot of your conditioning can add to your legs. Keep in mind, I do my sled work and my jumping. My legs will grow from that stuff too, personally. I had big legs just from sleds. That's all I did. You know, it all adds up, guys. It all accumulates. But that has to be factored in when people are thinking my own training and looking at it. It's like, keep in mind, guys, I do sled work. I do box jumps. The squatting is not all of my leg volume. Those are really a big deal. Do you have any opinion on the Titan Fitness Hexbot leg press machine? I don't know anyone who has it. Personally, Lacey, I've never used it. I don't know anyone who has it, so I can't really give you an educated opinion on it. I mean, it looks decent, but I can't say firsthand that it is. But I've seen it. I know which one you're talking about. For the money, it's probably pretty good. You know, most likely. All right. But, you know, don't hold me to that. Coach, do you have any tips for staying safe during regular sauna sessions? I sweat way too much, feel dehydrated. Well, maybe more sodium and water, more potassium, more electrolytes, more fluids. Don't want to be disappointed if I got it right. Well, do further research and see what different people say about it who have it. Go do some reading. There are going to be a lot of people who bought it who are going to have reviews up on different places, I guarantee you, who are not sponsored by them. So go dig around. I'm sure you can find some. I would. I mean, if I was going to drop $1,000 or more on any piece of equipment, Lacey, I would definitely go review what people read. At least 20 reviews, would be just me personally. If I was in that situation where I start dropping that type of cash on a piece of gym equipment, I'm definitely going to read a bunch of reviews. I feel like it's a light cardio conducive to more energy for cardio, but yeah, man, I sweat like it. No, saunas can be useful. There can be nice recovery, but they're not. It contribute to your cardio. Cool. Glad you paid your truck off. Okay. Coach, have you done the Beachbody stuff? No, I have not done the whole Beachbody stuff. I have one of my friends' wife has been doing the P90X for like 15 years. She does all that stuff, and that's what she does. She has the videos. She's been doing them for years and years, and that's what she does and likes it. I personally don't listen to any of it. But now she's been doing it for forever, probably 15 years. I mean, she's in good shape. Provided the intent. It's just cardio, man. It's not anything special. Finally got my Instapot, Coach. Inspired by you. Awesome. Hey, Coach. Big up. Thank you. Peppermint, you had a faker in here. Hey, Ramal, we don't care about fighting. Quit being a degenerate. Only degenerates care about fighting. Like, are you a scumbag? Ramal, I'm going to ask you a simple question. Are you a scumbag piece of shit? Yes or no is a very simple question. Okay. So why do you care about fighting like that? If you aren't a piece of human filth, then why do you care? So if you're not a scumbag, then why do you care? Right? Simple solution. Be a good person. Don't worry about silly nonsense like that. Because gym makes your test high and they need to. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Yeah, you need to grow the fuck up. You sound like a child. You need to grow up. Jesus Christ. All right, next. Old PA Sam, I got a 55-year-old mom up to 50 pounds for says 20 reverse hyper. Nice. Got the Big Lifters Pro model. Cool stuff. Also to rate your Instapot. Amy says Jason's a good guy. He doesn't get into fights. Yeah, Rommel sounds like he's like 15. But no grown man thinks about stuff like that. How are you doing? Yes, I'm doing cardio at my desk. I'm going to run here later too. You're 32 years old and you're writing stuff like, no, man, lifting weights makes your chest go up and makes you fight. You're 32 years old. Simon, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Do better. Gambling to be on, right? I think you need to clean your life up a little bit. I think you should probably chase sobriety, go get in the gym, get fit, and work on changing your mindset and your outlook. You drink? It's addictive though. It's hard to make gym. No, Why don't you replace all those other addictions with working out? So get rid of the gambling and replace it with the barbell. Be my advice. Work on your mindset, man. You know, get rid of all this other nonsense. Don't worry about silly stuff like fighting or thinking the gym is going to make your test go up and make you buy it. No. Get rid of, replace the gambling and other nonsense. Replace it with the gym. No. My advice. Lars says, Jason, I have a similar, less equipped gym setup as you, same rack. It's worth investing in some kind of pulley system. I think the pulleys are wasting money. I don't need one, man. I'm back to the basics. We're doing basics. Like I see UFC fighters. Yeah. Hey, Rommel. I'm just going to ignore you so that I don't have to ban you. Oh, man. What are your thoughts on Alpha Destiny? I don't think about Alpha Destiny nowadays. Because you say someone was faking it. Yeah, they came in claiming to be you and dropped insults. I banned them immediately. They used your same name, but they didn't have your avatar. Yep. They did a hey coach and then they dropped an insult. I banned them and moved on. Oh, good coach. Thanks for that. I mean, it obviously wasn't you. You wouldn't have said the stuff they said. If you did, you would have been banned. But I knew it was obviously not you. But yeah, they want to imitate the regulars now. I guess that's going to be the strategy. Is 100 kilograms overhead press good? Yes, that's great. It's extremely rare, actually, at that body weight. I would say it's elite. So you probably move a lot of weight on other lifts too if you do that. Well, they bench at least 150 kg. So, Hey, Coach, I'm going to do the same thing on other. I'm going to recommend that you don't, Mustafa. Now, the pull-ups is just kind of its own little unique thing. You start doing isolation and other stuff like that, you're gonna get all sorts of overuse injuries. I mean, pick just one thing. I'm choosing just to do some pull-ups that way, right? And I'm being very cautious with it. Do you ever never advocate the push press? I'm a big fan. No, I think the push press can be great. I actually like it still. I just can't do it. I used to do tons of. I used to rotate everything: strict press, push press, dumbbell press, clean and press off the floor, press out of the rack. I used to just rotate through all of it all the time. I want to get back to that, right? That's why I want to get this shoulder situation resolved, which again looks like bicep, because again I can't lock the elbows either. When that's resolved, I want to return to doing all that. So I'm basically just going to live on overhead work. I'm going to obviously do my big three. I'm going to do dips and pull-ups, and I'll probably just overhead like a mofo all the time. I would love to be able to return to that. No, I like rotating all of them through. I mean, even if you go back and look during that other era, we did it all the time. Press and jerk. I haven't found a place for push press. Just work it in. Just work it in, Lacey. And I didn't mean that how it sounded. Just work it in to your training. Do it between. You don't have to clean and jerk all the time. Lots of Olympic lifters literally do push presses between all the time. I used to just pick some sort of overhead press. When I used to do all that stuff, those days, I just picked some sort of overhead press and did it. Do I want to do a dumbbell? Do I want to do a clean from the floor and strict press? Do I want to do a push press? What I want to do? Just ran with it. I just did some sort of overhead every workout. I do jerks off blocks many times. Yeah. Keep in mind they're different beasts. Jerks are not true overhead pressing strength. They're all leg drive, right? A push press actually has a strong upper body component. A truly properly executed jerk isn't that upper body dominant. It really is leg and hip extension. You just build enough momentum that you're ducking under it. Which you already know that. A lot of the other listeners don't know that. So it's very technical. It's very technique oriented. Whereas in push pressing is a little bit more of we're using the upper body, using a little leg drive. And then you had guys like Hoklov like doing crazy push presses. And let's just clean 405 off the floor and push press it. Hey Rommel, I can tell that you're pretty much a troll. Let's get you out of here. Next. Only stability overhead on the jerk. PRs of your arms if you aren't doing it wrong. Yeah. Yeah. So if you're using the arms, you're doing it wrong. Yep. Except for the old school guys back in the day, they just were just crazy strong. So guys in the 50s and stuff and 60s who had those big clean jerks, they just straight up mobbed their way through it through just brute strength. But some of those guys were strict pressing like 400 pounds and stuff. You know, it's become a lot more technical in later decades, which is why Olympic lifting will die off. And I'm just saying it like it is. People would rather be strong than just technique through everything that has its own culture around it. But I mean, I get it. It was the nature of the sport. It had to go that way for people to get better and better and win. But it turned into its own world. Yeah, they did clean and press too. Yep. As a lift. Yep. Until they took it out. Cool. Get this ride done, and then I can get my food cooking, get the vlog done. Got to do a client call today too. I still got to run today. We got to jog. That's why I don't care about these so much, these lives, you know, just get one done on the lifting days. Because we do so much other cardio, you know, between the sled work, the running, you know, as long as I get one of these done, that's the main thing. Because I'm going to do 2 of them on the off days anyways. I get out and run after late morning, which is why I run into connection issues. Literally looking, I did a 10-minute run yesterday and it shows 2 minutes recorded on the stream and then it cut out. And it didn't tell me it cut out. It told me it was still running all the way when I shut it down to say goodbye to everybody. That's why YouTube sucks. Grocery talks have been really cool. Good to see. Send to relatives and friends for quick info. Awesome. Appreciate it, Peppermint. Glad to hear it, man. Mm-hmm. Trying to improve at it, not great at it. I'm going to work on getting to a 9-minute miles for 5 minutes. There you go. Delson Traps been popping lately in these lives, Coach. Appreciate it. Suck at PPP. Just slowly trimming down body fat helps. I did do some overhead work with dumbbells today, though. It's so weak. Like, Coach, really sitting there overhead pressing 28 pounds. But I've got to build it somehow. You know, something better than nothing. I'm going to go on a strength block where I can focus on the big compound movements. Good idea. Yeah, every block should be a strength block. Every block should be a hypertrophy block. I don't believe in block periodization. You may have noticed this. Old PA Sam 5-plate deadlift 4-plate squat 3-plate bench 2-plate chin up 30-minute 5K 200 pounds multiple. That's a pretty decent goal, Sam. Sam, that's a good goal. I think you should totally strive for that. For lifting after the barn gym gets hot. Yeah, it gets hot here. I mean, I am in Texas in a garage. You know. The runs have cool foot speed sounds and the camera shakes like compared to many other streamers during running. Really? I don't know. I mean, I'm holding it fairly stable, I guess. Yeah. We just doing our thing. But speaking of which, probably going to go ahead and wind this down. I'm kind of bored with this. We got almost an hour. It's good enough. And I'm in the Facebook. So I guess I'm going to wind this down. I'll get a run in here for you guys here later coming up. Not too late from now. So I hope it's been informative. Love you guys and gals, and I'll talk to you next time.